encourage you to lie down for this first part so you can feel your body on your surface. And I'm going to say mat because then in your mind you can think of mattress or mat on the floor, and then that'll do both. So let's lie down. And either allow your eyes to gently close or soften your gaze. And allow your body to settle on the mat. Feeling how amazing gravity is to support you underneath you, and the earth, and how your body can just feel held as you rest here. We're going to gently move to our hands now, so open up your hands so the palms are upwards, down by your sides. And roll your shoulders, maybe wiggle them away from your ears or roll them away from your ears. And land your feet so they're planted, so your knees are bent, and your feet are now being supported by the earth underneath you as well. And here I'd just like you to imagine your whole body surrendering to the support of the earth underneath you. And imagine how the earth is holding you, safely protecting you in this space, where you can allow your whole body to just let go. And we're going to start with the tip of our head, and imagine the head and the muscles around your scalp just relaxing. Almost like you've got this gorgeous laser beam that's got warm, soothing light going from the tip of the head, and wherever it moves down your body, scanning down your body, everything's just going to relax as it goes past each part. So it'll smooth down your forehead, your cheeks and your lips and your jaw and your neck. And the beam just travels down your body. And one by one, your muscles are going to let go. And your whole body will release tension. And when you get towards your feet, I'd like you to wiggle those toes, just very gently, give them a wiggle. So you've relaxed everything, and now we're bringing a little bit of life back into the toes and the feet. So you could scrunch or stretch the feet or wiggle them or play the piano with your toes. And then push the heels down lightly as you lift the balls of your feet up. So you're basically flexing at the ankles. And we're going to go the opposite way, pushing the toes down, lifting the heels, and being mindful of how high up you go. These are small, gentle movements. And I'm doing it, if you can see, if you need to take a look at any point. And you can, of course, open your eyes at any point you want to, or you could maintain the eyes closed so you can get in touch with your body a bit more. So your feet and ankles might be feeling quite warm now, so let them relax. As we move to the knees, we're going to very gently move them towards one side as we breathe in. And then breathe out as we bring them back to the center. And then breathe in as we move to the other side. And breathe out. So smooth and gentle. Feeling your body as you do this. Feeling the parts of your body that move. The parts of the body that might feel like they're holding on. And then bring your knees back to the centre as we move into a pelvic tilt, tilting pubic bone up towards nose and then pubic bone down towards toes. So smooth and gentle, pubic bone to nose where the middle of your back is going to press into your mat. Pubic bone down towards toes where the middle of your back might arch a little bit away from the mat. And I'd like you to breathe out as you tilt pubic bone to nose and breathe in as you tilt pubic bone to toes. So you're gently rocking the pelvis in a movement that's slow and controlled, but in a rhythm that works for you. And then we're going to circle the pubic bone as well. So I'll put my hands on my pelvis so you can see what I'm doing if that helps you. And for you, you could circle the pelvis and put your hands there as well if that makes it feel better for you, or if you're enjoying the letting go feeling of letting your hands rest, feel free to do that. We're going to circle the other way as well. It's always fun when you've got a cat on your lap. And then allow the knees to gently sway side to side as you tilt your pelvis or circle your pelvis. And imagine how, as you're doing this, you're releasing the muscles in your pelvis and your sacroiliac joints and your glutes. You're giving them all a bit of a massage. And let's circle the other way again. And double check in with yourself that you're breathing. And then we're going to bring the pelvis to somewhere in the middle as we move up to our belly button. And I haven't done this with you for a while. I want you to imagine you've got a grape and you've popped a grape in your belly button. Now there are a couple of you here who might have an outie belly button, in which case you might need to imagine that it's an innie, so you can put the grape there, okay? And I know actually there's one person in this group who doesn't have a belly button at all, so you're really going to have to use your imagination that you've got a grape there. So this grape is really ripe and it's really juicy. So you don't want to get it all squidgy because you're going to get a bit sticky. So I want you to imagine that you're going to draw the belly button in a little bit so you can hold on to that grape, but only enough that it's not going to get juicy. And then I'd like you to release the grape by letting go of the tummy muscles, but not pushing the tummy muscles out, because if you push the tummy out, the grape will roll out, okay? So it's a very small, mindful suck in of the grape gently and release of the grape gently. And you know I often like to do breath with this one, so you could breathe out as you draw that grape in, and breathe in as you release it. So breathing out, breathing in. And then we're going to move that grape to the middle of our sternum. So we've got the grape in the middle of our sternum, so if you've got boobs, it'll be between your boobs. And then I want you to imagine that you're going to draw the rib cage down almost like you're trying to tilt the grape downwards, and then draw the rib cage up like you're trying to roll the grape up to your neck. So drawing it gently down, not to the extremes. Breathing in, lifting. So it's a very small lift of the chest and a draw down of the chest. So it's like we did with our pelvis tilting, but now we're just moving very gently to the chest. And it's more of a visual thing than a massive movement. And then you're going to let the grape rest in the nape of your neck. And your arms are still relaxed. This time you're going to circle the nose, but only big enough that the grape is not going to move. So it's going to be a really tiny circle of the nose as that grape stays there, nestled and safe and doesn't get too juicy. And let's circle the other way as well. And then bring your nose somewhere in the middle, and you're done with the grape. So if you want to eat it, you can, or you can just flick it away. Okay, so I have options now for you. For those of you who want to get into full point kneeling, we're going to do cat and cow in 4-point kneeling. For those of you who want to stay lying on your backs, you're going to do a bit more of an extreme pelvic tilt, where you tilt pubic bone to nose, almost lifting your bottom off the mat, and then pubic bone down towards toes, arching the spine away. And as you're doing this, you're going to look up, tilting pubic bone to nose, and look down, pubic bone to toes. So that's your version. Those who want to be in 4-point kneeling, we're going to flip over into this position. And in terms of position, a lot of us have hypermobile elbows in this group. So try and soften the elbows, not so they're completely bent, because it's like you're doing a press up for ages, but just soft, so they're not locked. And then draw the shoulders away from your ears as you move between the two movements. Really gently and mindfully, allowing the head to get involved in the action too. But try not to look up too much. So you don't want to compress the back of your neck, so still think length in your neck as you're doing these. So those in 4-point kneeling, depending on how your wrists are feeling or your knees, you might want to come back to here for a little bit and let your wrists rest. Okay, or you could roll over onto your backs if you prefer. So have a moment to rest. Those of you on backs, you're going to pass the grape from one hand to the other. So you're going to pass it from one to the other, so you allow your rotation, and then return down. And then pass the grape to the other hand, and return back down. Okay, so that's your option here. If you are in 4-point kneeling, so you were here, we're going to come back up again. We're going to thread the needle. So we're still going to keep the elbows soft as we draw one hand and guide it gently underneath, just a little bit. And some of you might enjoy just resting here for a moment and then pushing yourself back up as you move down to the other side, resting. Can I just get you to pay attention, those of you with shoulders that can dislocate easily, When you're doing this, just be mindful of those shoulders as you rest down, that you're not putting too much pressure on them. It's very smooth and gentle. And you can even look underneath your armpit here and wave. And we're going to do one more on each side, whichever version you're doing. And then if you feel up to it, we're going to move into a seated position. For those of you who feel like sitting up isn't going to upset your pots. So for seated, we're going to hold on to the knees and very gently peel. So you're allowing your spine to curve, and then you're going to come up nice and tall again. So you're curving and then coming up tall. So that's your option if you're feeling comfortable in a seated position. For those who would rather lie down, you're basically going to introduce the curve as well. So you're going to go a little bit further up your back, but still keeping the rib cage on the floor as you curve the spine up and curve the spine back down again. That's it. So it's a bit of a shoulder bridge, but not a massive one because I haven't prompted you to take cushions away from your ears. If you did want to move your cushions here, you could come up a little bit higher if you prefer. So those of you doing the seated version, we're going to go a little bit further now. So we're going to hold on behind one leg and reach one hand forward. And we're going to rotate outwards as we curve back and return. Swapping sides, rotate outwards and return. That's it. Well done. Those of you doing the shoulder bridge, you can do this version. So we're going to roll up, and then imagine one buttock is releasing, so your pelvis like slides towards one side, roll down that side. So peel up the centre, release one buttock to peel down that side. And it's all still very small. I don't want big extreme movements here. So those in seated, you're now going to explore your point, okay? So your point is the point where you go back and you start feeling the point where it gets a bit hard. So, and it gets to the point where you know that it'll be really hard to get back up again. So explore that point, and it's still fine to keep your hands underneath your legs if you prefer. Just exploring. I know mine's around here when it gets really hard to come back up. So find that point and work through it and play with it as you're moving back. For those of you in this position, you're going to do the same but upside down. So at this point, you might want to remove anything away from your ears as you peel gently up. And then you find the point where you can create a nice straight line, but your pelvis isn't too high, as you then lift the heels, making sure the ankles stay straight, and then return back down and lower back down. Now, height isn't important. The height, as in, I don't want you to go too high, but I don't mind if you're barely coming up off the floor, because that's just you looking after your bodies. So choose what works for you as you do this. There we go. So those of you who've been doing the C curve, you're probably exhausted now, so roll all the way back to the floor, very gently and slowly. That was working you hard, wasn't it? Okay, so returning cushions underneath heads and open up the arms. So you've got the arms with the palms upwards. And we're going to lightly press on one foot. So you're now activating that buttock as you then tilt the pelvis towards one side, leaving your arms behind as you breathe in, and then return as you come back. So breathing in as you lightly push on that foot, and return. All at the same time as reducing any tension in your shoulders and your neck. Some of you might notice a very satisfying, like lengthening feeling here, and we're just dipping into it and dipping out of it. We're not going to hold it for too long. Breathing in, breathing out, breathing in and out. And then if you feel up to it and you fancy it, we're going to roll over onto the side and find a way to look after our heads in this position. So just adjust yourself so your shoulders are still in joint if possible. If you want to stay on your back, that's fine too, but work on finding a position that works for you. Okay, so get yourselves comfy. We're not going to be here for too long. We're going to lift up the leg and lower it back down like you're a dog peeing up against the wall. If you would prefer to stay on your back, you're going to be doing this fascia where you slide the leg out and slide it back again. So you choose what's good for you. Emily, this is new for me. I've not seen you on your side before. I can't hear you. I think maybe you've muted or something, but I'm loving it. Yeah, it helps, doesn't it, being on the floor? That's if you can get back up again after. Well done. And then from here, I'd like you to slide the leg away from you and slide it back. Okay, so it's a gentle slide. Just make sure your hips stay in joint as well, because a slight cross of the midline. If you want to work a bit harder, you might want to slide and hover the leg and return. That's it. Just double checking that you're breathing at the same time. And that's quite a lot, isn't it? Especially when our legs are heavy. So we're going to release the leg and move to the arms and work on the deltoids. So we're going to draw the arm up and lower it back down. Then we're going to float it forward and draw it up and lower. That's it. So it's like you're creating a bit of a capital U shape with your arm. Mine's really crunchy today, my shoulder. Is anyone else's?
Yeah.
Yeah, some. And then we're going to lower this arm. That's it. And just take a moment to embrace your body and think, wow, how amazing are we right now to be here together today. And then you have my full permission to turn your backs on me, okay? So we're going to roll over to the other side. I'm going to twizzle round so I can still see you. But we're going to do exactly what we did the first way round. So the first one is a dog peeing up against the wall. So find your comfy position and then lift slowly And lower slowly as well, as you're breathing. Smooth and slow. That's it. And then we're going to slide that leg forward, either along the floor or hovering it just above the floor. So you're basically lengthening the leg away from you and returning it back. That's it. Let's do this one last time as we then rest the leg. Good. Lengthening the arm and drawing it up and drawing it down, guiding it forward and up and back again. So you're drawing that U shape with your arm again. And then draw that hand in front and take a moment once again to think, yay, I have an amazing body. That's it. Then we're going to move over back onto our backs again. As we bring the knees in towards your chest. That's it. And we're going to very gently circle them. Who's got a squeaky floorboard today? Yeah. And let's go the other way. And then we're going to lower the legs down and open the knees away from each other very gently, not forcing them, just letting them open and close. So opening and closing. Final one. And close as we then move into caterpillaring our feet away from our body. So we'll then end up in a lengthened position where we draw our toes up towards our knees and then point toes down away from the knees. And then toes up, and we're going to externally rotate at the hips and internally rotate. Is anyone getting a clunk? Yeah. And then let everything relax as we move into the relaxation part of the class. So feel free to get into a comfortable position for you. I'm going to sit up for a bit so I can actually see my notes. And this is where all those muscles that we've just worked and any tension that you might be feeling in your body, you're going to let go. So feel free to stay lying down, or if you prefer to sit up, that's fine. Whatever works for you. Cuddle time with cats and dogs as well. And allow your gaze to soften or close your eyes again. And take a deep, full breath in. And then a long, slow exhale. And another nice deep breath in. And a long, slow exhale so that you can feel your whole body release. And one more deep, long inhale. And on the exhale, allowing yourself to fully arrive down into your body and into this present moment and into your breath. And now letting go of any control of your breath and simply allowing your breath to just be. And letting all the effort it has taken to bring you here now, just letting it be. And letting be all the thoughts and pressures of what's yet to come. And giving yourself the gift of this moment and this time together with each other. And as you feel ready, taking a moment to turn your mind inward and notice, asking yourself, how am I now? How am I holding my days so far in this body? And in your mind, labeling for yourself in 1 or 2 words, what's here for you now? Whether that is some tension or excitement or numbness or readiness or relaxed, whatever it might be, just simply notice it with an attitude of curiosity and kindness. And then taking a fuller, deeper breath and refocusing your mind back together and back to the class. And I want you to bring appreciation to how you've brought movement into your life today. And how with that movement you've brought moisture and suppleness to all your fascia and to your joints and muscles in order to just let them go. In order to release pain and tensions and any feelings that you might have been holding on to. How they've all been let go. As you take one final deep breath in and release any residual feelings or tension out as you breathe out. And then with your arms, we're going to reach the arms to the height that's available to you today as you breathe in. Lifting the arms up and then pressing them down past your body. That's it. In honour of how you have prioritised yourself for this 41 minutes of exercise and activity and bonding with each other.